Alright guys, so you might be wondering, how can I counter Sengoku? I'll be giving you 3 tips, and it'll be very simple. It's nothing that hard. I'm pretty sure most of you guys can do it. And before you hop into the video, make sure to subscribe and like, because this video, in my opinion, is actually kind of useful. I've tried it on some people. They've proven to be pretty useful, but sometimes they just don't manage to find a loophole. But most of the time, you'll be able to counter a Sengoku user. So let's start with the first one. It's a logic, common sense one. Use as much as self dodge, auto dodge, or counter moves such as Itachi Sharingan, Ryan Akuma, uh, Obito's Obito. Oh, I forgot, I messed that move up. But Obito's last move, you know what I mean. Let me just equip. So for example, he goes use Itachi invincibility mode, but then they will be to see that you're in invisibility mode, but they can't prevent that from stopping. Or you could use body replacement technique, it's also a very good option. Reality style warp is also a pretty good idea. It's basically Obito's last move if you don't have Obito MS, but it's perfectly fine. You can have this. It's only 1 out of 50. Isn't that hard to get. You just have to be focused on hopping, since now there's 25 minutes for you to get it, so it shouldn't be a problem when you have 25 minutes. And let's hop into the next tip. The next tip is to apparently hide your hand signs. For example, let me just use some moves real quick. For example, if I just load this thing real quick. So for example, first move, when you do hand signs, you apparently show blue signs. And then the Sengoku users, they could use the Ultra Counter. They could time their Ultra Counter move and their timing. And then they apparently look at your hand signs, and then they activate Ultra Counter. And then when they get hit by you, they apparently trade places with you, and you get hit by Asteroid. It does around like 40,000 damage. It stuns a bit. Well, it doesn't really count as stun, but apparently get glitched to the ground for a few seconds. It takes a bit for you to get back up to the ground. Other than that, you should be fine. So hide your hand signs behind like a ramen shop, or behind a fence, on top of a tree, or anything you really doesn't, or anything you feel like behind a rock, on top of a building, in a bush. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure you keep your hand signs out of sight of your opponent, which is a Sengoku user. The next step is to use as much as long range as possible, because Sengoku is mostly of a main combat thing. Like the first move, it's a big hitbox. Second move, it's a medium range auto tracks. The last move, I just told you what it is, the Ultra Counter. So for the C spec, same thing. For C spec first stage move, you apparently launch 2 asteroids. It has a medium range. If you use long range, like a Rasen Shuriken Rush or anything, or like a Phoenix Flowers, or like Shurikens or anything like that, you should be good. And apparently they can't aim you. I really like Tengoku's last move, because number 1, it does a lot of damage. Number 2, it has really long range. And number 3, it can't be noticed. Because if you get noticed, the Sengoku user knows that it's not being randomly hit, and they will in fact go out and look for you. But the thing is, they can't find you because you're hidden somewhere. For this next tip, it's to use the hit and run method. Sengoku is a close combat, full straight on. It's not really used to sniping kind of stuff. So if you hide in tree hop to this, tree hop to another tree, use a move or something, and then hop to another tree, escape, or just fly away, hide in a little tree or something. And then if you find them again, just use another move, because that way they get really annoyed. They can't find where you are, and they can't really track you down. And their Sengoku moves, it's not really much of a long range move or anything. So the second move is an auto track, but it doesn't have much of a range. So unless they want to find it, they could use the Byakugan or anything. But other than that, using hit and run method is a very good method. And that's it